All right, what's up, everybody? So today we're gonna go. We're gonna start by going over biases for the week, etc., etc., etc. So starting off on the 1 month chart, there is an interesting idea that's sort of forming here, and that's just this PSP, right? So as YM's the stronger asset, NQ has become the weaker asset, right? And as you can see, all of these months' highs have just been taken out previously by YM, while over here we're obviously the weaker asset. So that kind of leads me to think that we should sweep out this relative accumulation level. It becomes clear when you go into the 1 weekly chart how this level through here, as you can see, just this whole idea is the accumulation. So we've literally been in accumulation since October. So for the past like quarter and a half, we've been in accumulation. We technically do have SMT, but I think I need to take that off now because that's really not valid. If this whole turn this shit off, bro. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if you look at it like this SMT doesn't really matter, although it can. I think what will matter more is if price runs out these lows. And by those lows, I'm talking about these lows right here. These are adjacent lows from that week. I'm just gonna let that go because my idea is that price should still run, right? This is the weaker asset. So for this week, I think price should run this liquidity while this asset, which is technically stronger, fails to run the liquidity. So we get something like this. And then we have that SMT to play off of, and then we can see a potential strength switch. And bang it inside, or something like that. I'm just making stuff up, but that's pretty much my idea for what I would like to see going into this week. So obviously, what does that look like? Well, that looks like you find anything that's in the upper quadrants of the previous candle and see if we can expand from it. So when we go down, what does that look like? Well, it's the 4 hour. Same thing happens over here, right? Let's go look. Hop down to the daily chart, which is technically adjacent from this level, and you can see that it's kind of obvious we have a daily fair value gap, and that's going to be what unites all the assets. All the assets have this same daily fair value gap. So let's see. Yeah, so we're looking for an SMT fill here. Obviously, I think as you can tell, we got that SMT fill, right? As you can tell, right? You see that sweep of liquidity. So price could start expanding lower on the daily. Obviously, this is going to be our initial target. But yeah, we can see ES is already doing that. So now hopping down on the 4 hour, well, what does that mean? We want to see an open high, right? Okay, so we're going to get one of these. Well, as you can see, this is the previous week equilibrium. I marked that out. So we're going to delete this because I don't need that. Yeah, so now we're on this 4 hour chart, and you can tell, where did market open up? Market opened up right here. So we have opened high, but we haven't manipulated any level. So we're going to continue looking. And look, we opened up high. And I'm pretty sure we still failed to manipulate. Technically, we took out this high, so this asset is weaker, which would make sense for shorts today. Yeah, now hopping down onto the hourly, that's where you kind of want to see that CSD change, structure change, right? That's where I want to see a continuation form. Yeah, we can quickly go into the continuation that I saw last night. That was really good, but yeah. What would be really nice, I guess, here is just, yeah, we would want this asset to stay weaker, technically. Get this shit on my face. So this asset's failed to sweep too. We've taken out this high. We haven't running a lot similar to NQ. Still need to run this low. Okay, so hopping down to the 30-minute now. I mean, on the hourly, there's this sell side that we can run, and we can run to this target. So that's kind of what it's like. You set some boundaries. So you're just looking at this, and you're like, okay, so we have something here, we have something here, we have something here, and we have something here. So what's going to be the move for this morning? Is market open in a rush here? Or we're going to get a rejection or no rejection, and we're going to go lower to go higher. Okay, if not, we can run this, see a clear rejection, and go higher, but it's a choppy day. So a lot of these levels are going to be able to give us some confidence for what market may do. On the 30-minute, this hourly candle is displaced greatly, so I would honestly be looking for some sort of wick. I just say that, but the idea doesn't make sense. If price opened high, yeah, we'd want to be shorting now. So yeah, going into my trade from yesterday, this was really good. So I was eyeing down on daily chart that this should be shorts from here. This makes sense to short price. Yeah, we technically have some SMT on the daily right now. Just want to mark that out so that we can see this, because this SMT fill might be nice. But yeah, I'm relatively short biased on here. Yep, as you can tell. And so when market opened up yesterday, I was already just eyeing down shorts in general. And so hop down onto, how did I get to it? Yeah, I think it was relatively off of this start off where we got this SMT right here. So I was like, okay, price is more likely to go short. And I just wanted short, so I was like, okay, I'll wait for some sort of CSD to get me into the trade. And I want to go over what I saw, because this was really helpful with T-Trade's continuation model. And it was, okay, so it was the idea that over here, if we're going to go short based off of this price action, we want a continuation, that would have to be formed right here. And look, price comes down, we never form that CSD. So now we can move it because we have this new set of closed candles to close below. And again, once this candle came, I was watching it to get into it right here. We rejected back, and that was clear that we weren't going to go lower. So now we move it. And this one doesn't really get tapped in, but as you can see, eventually it get closed below. But technically there is an earlier entry into this, but I didn't watch this. So in my head, price is going shorter up here, but there is no actual trade entry because the CSD is not actually clear. So what my idea was down here, price, once it closes below this is the continuation that T-Trades was sort of talking about. Once it closes below this will be your continuation entry, which will kind of confirm this whole price action up here. Yeah, especially because we had the clear draw on liquidity, which was, I think it was these lows right here. And yeah, so I entered in this trade on 2 micros on gold, and we got this huge push lower, and we retraced back all the way in. And so once we moved back down into profit, I just exited the trade because I realized, I make up excuses, obviously. At the end of the day, it's Sunday, I don't want to trade, blah, 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 blah. We were already up 500, now we're down, It was a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. And then it ran my take profit. So there's that, but it's nice to know that worked. And then for the continuation off of that, as you can tell, it would have been not only based on just this, but I like a series of down close candles or up close candles more. So this and price could not close below it, and that's what kind of led price higher. So now on what we're looking for is, well, let's see how this 4 hour can close. Yeah, I would like to see this 4 hour close with CISD, creating this sort of order block within there. Yeah, price should continue trading lower, ideally. for this asset, right, it's going to be continuing the same story. What I would like to see is some continuation. So let's look at what's the strongest asset. See if NQ is the weakest asset. ES looks like medium, and this is obviously the strongest asset. So what could we see at market open? Well, we could see liquidity run, right? We could see some sort of liquidity run. We could see like a little strength switch where ES becomes the asset that moves to sweep liquidity. But we would want to see that right around here. Okay, so getting back into this, as market comes into open here, hop down to a 5 minute. Yeah, we'll want to see some continuation, or we could see a pullback into this value gap. Obviously, off this hourly, yeah, I would like to see that strength, or not strength switch, but that continuation of this asset being weaker, into a sweep of these highs, maybe. That's sort of what I have lined out, but we wouldn't see that on this asset. So hopping down a little bit. Right, yeah, I mean, this would be the first target within our adventure lower, and then it would be down here. So probably be running this. Obviously, the hourly chart. This is like, okay, if you think it's going to go lower, then take a positional entry. But I'm not going to, because I don't really. I would rather wait to see some sort of confirmation. Okay, so now we're on this asset. 15-minute sell side liquidity down here that we're going to run before potentially trading up higher. And this is also our new week opening gap. Yeah, okay, so ES still, right, it's the weaker asset. YM, yeah, we're all the way up here. So it really is the weaker asset, or the weaker asset compared to the other ones. So technically this would be really good to short, just because in my head, it's the weaker one, but obviously no, it's not. So yeah, we'll look for some sort of continuation. If we don't get that, then we don't get that. I mean, that's kind of how simple it is you set up an idea for what you want something to look like. If it doesn't give it to you, then you don't enter because there is nothing. So market does open here. We'll hop down to a lower time frame so you can see this volatility switch, but we should probably run for this liquidity. There should probably be a 1 minute entry into there. Yeah, it would probably be this tiny fair value gap. What? Yeah, okay. No 1 minute, there's no point in having a 1 minute chart up. That shit's retarded. So these assets, as you can see, not run much, right? It is technically a bank holiday today. All right, as you can see, we're sort of just getting that displacement out of there, so there's nothing really, definitely not right now. It's weird because my bias is short, but right now my bias is long, right? Because the only way that I'm going to stay short is if we can see a move higher, in which from there we can get that move lower. So I'm probably not going to get any entry in, which is completely fine again. Right? Why I'm falling as well. Okay, so this asset's completely into some chop fest. Right, I did not. 705. So let's see. Nothing is changing technically. Same over here, yeah. I should probably get my trade copia ready. Alright, bet. full. So now this means that if I trade this, then I can get drip. See, gold's one of the harder assets to trade because even yesterday, like let's look at when I was, talking about my trade, what my trade was, blah, 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 blah. But it's just the idea that gold expands when it wants to expand. It doesn't like let's say for NQ has some sort of complete expansion. Like it's gonna always expand. It's expanding. Like there's gonna be times obviously where there's death candles, but it's not as big of a something about gold when it expands is it does it right away. Like you have no clue. Like you'll be chilling, boom, 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 chilling, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, but that's part of the reason why I like trading gold. It's because you'll be in drawdown the next second up 2,000. So you get it. So we're actually really, 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 really rich on the day. Let me show you guys. Fucking huge day today, boys. Huge day. So yeah, I'm just sort of kidding, but yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted to see, taking out this more external side, sell side liquidity before. Although that is my bias playing in the right way, but think about these candles, right? Now this 4 hour is going to have to really pick up the pace if it wants to expand to here, but think about it, is expansion here really what we want to see? Like, is that? No, it's not. Right? Because expansion down to this level would take out not necessarily a weekly target. I guess that more is our daily target, but yeah. Yeah, so we'd be looking for a 15-30 minute continuation. That's really pretty much it. Okay, we're just getting continuous expansion, and this asset is kind of in that continuous blah 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 blah. So why don't we do some back testing? We'll hop onto this daily chart. Scroll out of this daily chart. Why would I want silver futures? Literally tell me. I have no clue why I would want silver futures. Turn this off, please. So yeah, which day should we hop back into? Eyes are closed, eyes are closed. Okay. So right from the get-go, what do I see? See this S&T, which would need to be confirmed, right? We just ran it now, as you can see. So it would need to be confirmed by some sort of confirmation, right, with reversal patterns. What day of the week is it? Going into Wednesday. So Monday, not really an open high. It's more of an open low, if anything. Although we trade up into this level, we displace from it. So could be bearish going into tomorrow, especially off this order block created. Now in the 4 hour, yeah, I would be looking for some sort of swing point to form within, maybe there's a 6 hour fair value gap. Wow. Yeah, bro, this is just dumping right now, so there's no sort of pullback for us. So in this 6 hour fair value gap, There's not really one. We'll see about this next 6 hour. Yeah, we'd want to see something sort of start to expand a little bit higher, as this one does. Yeah, okay, so now we're starting to expand higher, which would be good for shorting it back to the new day opening gap. As you can see, these are both the current day opens, so we're trading higher. We'll watch for potentially, let's see, the fuck was that my last candle that I had? Alright, so now it's 9 o'clock now. We've traded all the way up here. This is the asset that was weaker. How is it becoming stronger? Not really, per se. Okay, there would need to obviously be a model off of here, like this 4 hour. It doesn't really make sense to just reverse. Off this, yeah, like shorts do look good off of here. I want to see this 4 hour. No, this looks better a lot longs because we also have this SMT fill, which is a bearish SMT fill. As you can see, this asset taps into this fair value gap. Yeah, so I don't really like this for shorts right now until we get some clear confirmation, such as like a sweep of this hourly. Like, I guess we could start to see it now because we have SMT up here. We've kind of slowly started to confirm it. It's that 13 o'clock handle, so do I really expect to move back to that new day opening gap? I mean, not really. So we'll see. Wow, so we kind of do, but not really. Let's see. Wow, dude, this is just bombing. Like, you can tell how this was the weaker asset. Right, because once YM traded up into this gap, this daily gap, we just started to expand away. I guess there really wasn't any entry. Yeah, there wasn't any entry because there's no SMT fill, there's no blah blah blah. Which is fine, obviously. There doesn't need to be an entry for me. I don't need to trade. It's just wants. I want to trade. Predicted that move lower perfectly, but no entry. Which is fine. I mean, I guess the only thing would be sort of like a continuation. So if price pulls back into a bearish fair value gap. But probably not. probably gonna stick to nothing until you get that pullback into this fair value gap. It's kind of obvious this is the fair value gap because the rest of the ones just weren't clean. You go on the minute, there's nothing else. So you need some sort of higher time frame fair value gap. So yeah. These assets too are kind of in that similar situation.